Hey guys, today we're going to have a shoot-off between Ursa Mini Pro versus 4.6K. Who's gonna win? Who's gonna win? Obviously the Pro, so like, doy. Anyway, so let's get into it. First off, as you can see, if those of you don't know for some reason, there's on the Pro there's a bunch more buttons, and there's less here. There's a bigger screen, a little smaller screen. They say the sensor's the same, but that's what we're getting into on these videos. So it should be a three-part video. I did 3 tests that I felt like were major tests. A low light test to see how they fared in low light. I did a outdoor test where I just went around and shot a bunch of footage, which we'll talk about in this video. And then I did the IR cut filter test to see if the NDs really had an IR cut on these versus no IR, and then putting an IR cut filter on the 4.6K. But today I want to talk about the differences of the 2 cameras. Obviously, this camera, the 4.6K, should you buy it or shouldn't you? To me, what it comes down to is what kind of filmmaking do you do? If you do documentary run and gun filmmaking, absolutely. The extra $1,000 is gonna save you a ton of time. It's gonna save you a lot of headache. It's just gonna be quicker and easier to use. The 4.6K has the same functionalities. It's just ease of use other than the built-in NDs. That's one of the big things. The 4.6K, you can still adjust everything. So if you're doing a lot of narrative work, I don't think necessarily this would be a great upgrade for you. The built-in NDs are great, but I would doubt they're as good as what you can get on like a matte box ND. One other thing between the 2, obviously, is these now have SD cards, which is kind of cool. I could see in the future SD cards like really getting faster and faster, and they are. Right now, I only have a 1000X, so you can shoot 1080 raw 3:1 on this just fine. At least I did, and it worked okay. I don't know, Blackmagic doesn't recommend that. So if you want Blackmagic's recommendation, you need to get the faster card, which is the 2000X card. But you can check it out down below. I'll also have the link to the faster card if you want to get those. They're down in the link below. The other thing that makes the Pro even better is the changeable mount. Now the changeable mount is like really nice. So if you are actually wanting to do higher end, using higher end lenses, but you can't afford it right now, so you just get the Canon EF mount, and then you can switch it to the PL mount if you're gonna do a bigger production. That I can see has a big appeal to it of upgrading to the Pro. One thing to note, it is slightly bigger than the Ursa Mini. The Pro is slightly bigger. It's a little bit heavier as far as weight. Obviously I have the EVF on this one, but as far as everything else goes, they're pretty much the same. Now what I did was I actually went around and filmed a bunch of different random shots to just see how these 2 compared when you look at them side by side. So let's check that out next. All right, so here we are. You can see I went down to this pawn shop and shot this big chicken because it was pretty awesome. Here is the Pro versus the 4.6K. Now the first thing I noticed was the magenta cast in the 4.6K. It's not in the Pro. I contacted Blackmagic about the IR cut filter, and it's actually on the camera all the time. So that's the reason the 4.6K looks so different from the Pro, is because that even on the clear filter, you have IR. Also, the f-stop, the ISO, everything was exactly the same on the 2 cameras. So you can see it looks like the Pro is slightly more sensitive to the light. If you look at all of these shots, each one, the Pro is just slightly brighter. So with the 2 images looking different, I actually pulled them in and pulled up the waveform. Let's take a look at these. Here you have the Pro, and you can see the lines on the Pro are pretty even as far as the red, green, and blue, and that's probably because of the IR cut filter. The big thing that I noticed though was actually how much brighter the Ursa Mini Pro was. Switching back and forth, the Ursa Mini Pro is actually quite a bit brighter. The blacks stay about the same, but those highlights get a little brighter. Not sure exactly what that means, but hey, there you have it. And I was not using the built-in NDs or any NDs of any kind. This was early in the morning. The light wasn't too bright. And then here you can see, look at the wall especially. The wall looks kind of green, a little more green, versus the magenta that you can see in the whole thing. And then I thought this was hilarious. Like, here's a dollar theater with a loan center next to it because, I need a loan to go to the dollar theater. But as you can tell, that this loan place went out of business because I don't think people need loans next to dollar theaters. Just saying. Not a good business model. We love our customers. I think they have a little bit of a stutter. We love our customers. See? Stutter. Anyway, so that's kind of the comparison of the two. Then what I wanted to do is I went in and I just did a really quick color correction on the whole thing to see if the two cameras could match. So here's the Pro and the Mini, and yeah, they match just fine. Like, there's very, very little difference between the two as far as matching goes. So yeah, I would say the sensors, as far as shooting outside daylight stuff, they match pretty well. Also, I did a full-on review of the Ursa Mini Pro. You can check that video out too. And also be sure to subscribe because I have 2 more videos that I want to discuss. I have one that's ND filters, the built-in ND filters, how it compares to an IR cut filter. Is the IR cut really that good in these? Is it worth it? And then number 2 is a low light test. Do these still perform just as well in low light together or not? So check out that video and be sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching, guys, and let me know what else you want to see. Thanks. We'll see you around, I guess. I gotta save this file so I don't lose it. This is